Well, good morning, YouTube. This is Chuck. As you can tell, I'm walking old Flapjack over at the park this morning. And thought of a firefighter story, something that happened here years ago, and thought you might be interested in hearing about it. And so, I'm going to go sit at the bench over here where I can sit down and talk to you. It's actually Friday, July 14th. And we come over here most every morning. It's beautiful here today. It's going to be pretty hot later on this afternoon. And there's I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's the osprey. It looked like he was going to take a dive and he changed his mind at the last second. But thought I'd tell you a little story about this before this was actually a park. I'm going to try to stay on that osprey, see if I can catch him making a dive. Anyway, let me get back to my story. If I can catch him, I'll do it. Before this was a park, this was actually a swamp. And wasn't much good for much of anything. And so years ago, one afternoon, the police department got a call that there was a bear down here in the swamp. And this is an early afternoon, and so the police department had something going on, and their officers were all busy, so the only one available was the sergeant. And so he came down here and he confirmed, yes, indeed, there was a bear down here in the swamp. Now these houses right across the way over here, they weren't here yet. And but the houses on the hill back behind there, they were here. That's an old subdivision. And so anyway, the police sergeant, he said, notify Game and Fish and see if they'll come over here and try to drive the bear away. Well, Game and Fish didn't have anybody available within about 100 miles. And so the sergeant said, well, if I can get another unit over here, he said, I could probably drive this bear out of here. And so they didn't have anybody available, so I wasn't doing anything. I was fire chief then, so I went ahead and checked on the radio, said I'd go come down here and help him. And so anyway, we got on both sides of the swamp. We started blowing our sirens at the bear and yelling at him over the PA system. And finally got the bear to leave the swamp, and he headed up into that subdivision directly in the middle of the picture in the background. Well, make a long story short, and I just missed the osprey. He made a dive, and I think he even caught a fish. He's coming right at us. There he is. There he goes. Anyway, so we spent part of the afternoon chasing this bear and chasing him through people's yards and driving up into their driveways and blowing the siren and telling them on the PA system to stay in their houses because there was a bear. And we finally managed to get him across the fence up into the Forest Service land on that hill over there. That osprey's real proud of himself. He's flying in big circles. There he comes again. He's got a fish. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'll try to catch it for you. But I guess he's pretty proud of himself. He's showing it off. But anyway, we spent part of the afternoon driving that bear through the people's yards and blowing the siren at him and honking the horn at him and yelling at him, and we finally got him to go across onto Forest Service land. And when we saw him, he was headed up that hill over there in the middle of the picture. And just another little firefighter story about how life was in small towns before we all got so big and complicated. But the beautiful morning over here this morning. It's supposed to get pretty warm here this afternoon, and so everybody comes over here and walks while it's early. And so I'll tell you, as I always do, be kind to each other, love each other. It's a beautiful day. I'll get back to you with another one here pretty quick. But for right now, I'm just going to tell you, have a nice day and peace out.